Okay. Manny said, no, that boy black. I'm sorry. And Manny said, no, Jennifer. Jennifer said, because for all intents and purposes, he looked just like a Puerto Rican, a Hispanic. You understand? You can go amongst us and find people that look white. Like the brother that stood up on Donahue. He looked like he was white. But he said, no, I'm black. You can go amongst us and find people that look like every people around the planet. That's Joseph's coat of many colors, talking about you. Why? Because you are the original man. You are the dominant man. So every man comes out of you when you are breathing with your woman. Every type of man come out of you when you're making babies with your woman. So because all of them are in us, all of them come out of us when we produce enough of us. You understand?
Sure.
Now I ask again, how did Caucasians get here when we understand? Dominant, recessive, Mendel's law, how did they get here? We all are in agreement that the Caucasian is a recessive man, right? Light eyes. Now Mendel was a white man. Mendel's a white man. I have to tell you that. Because black people like to see things in black and white.
Yes, sir.
I'm black telling you. Now, when the white man tell you, you believe. You ain't gonna believe it when I just tell you when a black man tell you. Y'all like to see it in black and white.
Yes, sir.
So now, if I'm telling you it and I'm black, well, I don't know. The minute the white man tell you, well, it must be true. So now you see it in black and white. Mr. Mendel, he says that light eyes are recessive. Caucasians have light eyes, right? Are black people born with light eyes? They're born that way because of our intermixing with them. But you don't never find no black people born with blue eyes. You'll find green eyes. You ain't never seen a black person born with blue eyes. The green eyes on some of them yellow black people. Let me stop that. Let me stop. I don't want to use that term. That's not right. On some of our fair-skinned brothers may have green eyes. Occasionally you'll find a real dark-skinned one with green eyes. I know about a guy by the name of Greeny. We called him in Newark, grew up with Greeny. And he had green eyes. His father, darker than all of us. And Greeny had green eyes. But, pardon me, you'll never find a black man with blue eyes. So Mendel's law indicates that light eyes is recessive. Light hair is recessive. Light skin is recessive. White people are recessive. How did they get on the planet? The recessive germ would have had to have been channeled some sort of way. He said one word. And we challenged the scientists to be able to say to us, no, there's no way that Yakub's history didn't. How did you get here, white people? And why is it that your history, we listened to the Jew the other day. The Jew talked about 4,000 years. Why is it that your history starts 4,000 years ago? What was you doing the first 2,000 years? What was happening prior to 4,000 years? Since we know that we've had civilizations way longer than that. What was going on? You were bottled up in Europe, white folks. Living in the caves and hillsides of Europe. You were bottled up there for 2,000 years, mating with dogs. Which is how come they have the features they have today. Them long noses. That hair. That's why they have the features that they have today. And that's why when the white folks get wet, they smell like a wet dog. Because they themselves, y'all play basketball and stuff with them. Wait until you start sweating and stuff. You played on the teams with them, didn't you? How they smell? Huh? Like bologna. Coming all out the pores. But that's why. Because, I'm not making mockery, because of them living in the caves and hillsides of Europe for all that time when the dogs and the animals that they were living on almost. You understand? So they talk about 4,000 years. They don't go past that. Why not? Why don't you go past that? Dr. Khalid mentioned what I used to mention all the time. Quest for Fire, the movie. You should get the movie, really. Because white people make these movies and they put a lot of hints inside of them. And I often tell people, all movies come from books. A script is derived from it. Where did the idea come from in the writer's mind to put that in the book? Did he research? If he's a writer, if he's a journalist, where did the idea come from? And if you look in the movie Quest for Fire, white folks living in Europe don't know nothing about fire. They goes in search of fire, ends up down there in Africa. And once they got there, they knew who they was, and they started trying to kill them. And some black Pocahontas stopped them from killing the white folks. And then ultimately, when they got down there in black Africa, those people was living, you know, they knew about pottery, they knew about fire, they was living in huts that they had made. These people were living in caves and stuff. These people were civilized. They was cooking their food. And in that movie, they show something that was another one of the devil's lies. I'm getting ready to close out. And they show in this movie how the Caucasian is the one who had sex doggy style. Do you know why they called the missionary position the missionary position? Because he lies to the world that when he went into Africa, we only knew how to have sex doggy style. And the missionaries had to teach us how to turn over and lay down like human beings and have sex. This is a damn lie. It was him in Europe hopping on the back of his woman and on the back of dogs. He was the one. And then reverse it and put it on you and call it the missionary position. There was no missionaries had to teach us nothing. And they showed this in the movie Quest for Fire. He had the caveman hero. We didn't have one. You don't understand? Again, we ask the question, if the black germ is dominant, how did the recessive or white germ get here? How did white folks get on this planet? If you say that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's teachings was not true and that Mr. Yaqub's history is a lie, we challenge the world to prove one word of all of the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad to be untrue. And I and many other Muslims will lay down our heads on a chopping block for anyone to cut off. You can take my life if you can prove one word of what he taught to be wrong. Do you all understand? Thank you for listening to me. I leave you as I came to you in the nation, treating with you and paradise. Assalamu alaikum.
Well, it's sir.
Now, look at my water. We want to take 1 or 2 questions if there are any. If there are none, then we'll close out and go home. But if there are any questions about anything, about any aspect of what I taught, or something you may have heard that the messenger taught, okay, I had an open. Yes, sir.
I got a question about Yaqub.
Yes, sir.
So, Yaqub.
Just a moment, brother. Yeah. No, go ahead. Go ahead, please.
Yaqub being a black man is proof that we are the creators, or that white folks come from us.
I'm sorry.
Yaqub being a black man,
yes, sir,
is proof that white folks come from us, and he started the whole grafting process.
But Mr. Yaqub is not necessarily the proof. Your genetics is. What's inside of you is. Everything white folks got, they got from us. There's nothing the Caucasian got that he didn't get from us.
Right.
Everything he got from us.
Right.
But your own genetics is what proves that Mr. Yaqub, that the Caucasian came from us.
Yes, sir.
Your own genetics. In other words, by studying what's inside of the black man, that's why I asked the question. How did the Caucasian get here? How? By studying what's inside of us, inside of the black man? Because science now has been advanced to the point where they can